All right, guys, here we go. A little bit of Rubio on this awesome table. Let's check it out. As you can see, it doesn't take very much. So this is actually 2C. I mix the A and B parts together. Should accelerate the drying and actually make it a little bit harder as well. That's pretty much all there is to it. I'll go over this a little bit more. Add a little bit more on here, make sure it's all the wood has been treated. And then I'll go around the edge real quick. I can see a few light spots where it sucks it up a little bit more, but all in all, it's pretty even. Before I finish this, I actually water popped it twice and sanded back to make sure everything was nice and even. I think that helps a lot. You don't have to water pop. I think it gives you a lot better color, more even color. All right, that's about it for the top. I'm gonna grab a little foam brush here, finish off the sides. So you don't have to use the squeegee on everything. On the hard to get places, you know, a foam brush works just fine. I think it works really well for these sides because there's no way to do it with the squeegee. Just putting a couple more spots over the top where I see it's a little bit lighter. This ash really sucks it up. So as you can see, it goes on pretty much just like a tung oil or something like that would. Go back over this top real quick, real light. You remember I said I water popped this twice. The reason I did that is I went a little higher on the sanding grit. I like to go to 180 with my Festool, just because it seems like on these tabletops and this hardwood it just gets rid of a couple more scratches and stuff like that. Little things that I notice. You know, they recommend 120, so I'm not giving you the recommendation to do a 180, but this is kind of what product you end up with after doing that. So All right, now let's wait about 5-10 minutes. Let it cure here. I'll wipe it down one more time, and then we'll buff it off. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to throw this white buffing pad on my Festool sander and just turn it down low to start. Just sticks right on there. Try to get it as even as you can, and just start buffing. Turn it up a little bit. No big deal. So we're trying to get all the excess oil off the surface, the stuff that hasn't reacted. So that's why you want to use the buffer, and just go at it until it feels close to dry on the surface. All right, that's pretty smooth and even. Now all I'm going to do is just take a little rag, just a little white cloth here, and just kind of run over everything. Make sure I have it all off. I am still picking up a little bit. It's really not a whole lot, but you want to get all that stuff off. If you don't get it all off, it can produce another layer on top of the wood, and it's not good for your finish. All right, you can see, I mean, it's not a whole lot, but it is a little bit that the sander couldn't get off. Always good to just go back over everything one more time. All right, well, that's the top, and now I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing on the bottom. So you can just, this fast. All right, so let's do the same thing for the bottom here. Get my squeegee out again. And if you get a little bit on the edge, dripping over, it's not a huge deal. The nice thing about that is there's really no lines involved, no overlaps. So you really don't have to worry. You're not going to see a line there like you would with most other finishes. Another little fact, how I measured out the finish. So it came in a decent sized bottle, but as you can see, I'm not really using a whole lot here on this table. All I did was just grab my postal scale for letters and packages and stuff, and I just I did my 3-to-1 ratio with that. Worked really well. As you can see, I'm almost gone, but nice thing is I'm almost done at the table, so moving right along. But don't think you have to use the whole bottle at the whole, per project. You can actually measure it out and do your 3-to-1 ratio, and it'll work just fine. So I'm just going over this all again to make sure I have even coverage. Like I said, you don't have to use this squeegee. I got it off of Amazon. It's just a rubber tipped plastic squeegee. I think it works slick. I don't know if it saves product, but it sure speeds up the application time, I think. And it's just kind of fun to do. Alrighty. So now I'll just take my foam brush again, kind of go over everything, just make sure I got everything applied evenly. Always a good idea just to go over it once again. Make sure I got all the cracks, crevices in here. I filled most of them with epoxy, but the bottom I left a couple just because really not a big deal. And see how I fixed the drip down here. I just kind of went over it. I'll come back with the towel and get that cleaned up later, but it's really no big deal. So I'm just kind of eyeballing. You don't really have to do this, go over it again. I just kind of like to just to double check I got everything covered evenly. Not a necessity for sure. That should be good here. So we'll just wait another 10-15 minutes and I'll do the same thing. All right, I'm gonna throw another pad on here and get back to buffing. All right, I think I got most of it off. Now I'll get a couple more white pads. Give it good. Goes down. It's gonna be a shame to cover this side up. The bottom side looks just as good as the top. Alright guys, so there you have it. This is what I use right here. Just it's the 350 milliliter can of Rubio Monocoat, and this is the pure, and I also use the B, I don't have it with me here, the accelerator as well. So as you can see, the results are pretty flawless. I love how this stuff, such an easy finish to put on, just works fantastic, and brings out all the character in the wood. So good luck building.